Aha. I think we're already live. Let's see if it catches it. Aha, there we are.
You're already live?
Yeah. Well, I just turned the camera on.
Okay, so how do I see you? Because I'm on your channel.
Should be on the live event that you set up. If you're watching and you can see us, YouTube completely changed their software, so we're trying to work it out. So just hang tight for a second.
So the video's unavailable. But I wouldn't let it work. I wonder when you're live.
I have no idea.
Can you see anybody saying anything?
It says one person's watching, and I'm pretty sure that's me.
Yeah, when I click on that, it says video's unavailable.
Well, I don't think we'll be able to do it tonight. I have no idea where it is.
Like that link earlier, it worked. And now the link doesn't work. Log out of yours.
Of mine.
I was logged out of yours.
No, go to stream now. That's why.
But, okay, so it lets me see it.
Mhm.
But I'm logged in as you. There's no way to get there.
That's me.
There's no way to get there.
By other people.
It's because it's private. Go back.
See the lock?
Hit that.
Public. Okay.
I gotta log out the other one.
Still no one watching though.
I wonder if it's because I just now made it public. People probably couldn't get to it. That wouldn't work for people. I didn't know that time.
Wow. Also have to readjust the 3 people are watching.
Tell them to go.
All right, guys, if you are just joining us, YouTube decided to completely change how you broadcast live, which we were unaware of until about 6 minutes ago. And so we're trying to figure this out as we go, so just kind of bear with us.
It's all grainy now. It's not really clear like it used to be.
Yeah. So I hope you can see me and hear me. I know the quality's not great, so we're gonna get through this tonight, and then we're gonna figure this out for next month. And We'll get back to the normal submissions for Smorgie Live. So just kind of bear with us as we work our way through
the joys of being live.
The joys of being live with YouTube, who decided to completely change everything.
If anybody heard about this with YouTube, let us know. We're curious if anyone was aware that they were making this major, because that's a major change.
That's huge.
To do away with Google Hangouts. Okay, everybody's saying they can see you. Apparently they can hear you.
Can you move the light? Yeah, it needs to go that way. There. See if that helped.
Oh.
There we go. Well, welcome to Submissions for Smorgie Live.
Live! We are live,
We are
folks.
totally live today with this hot mess. So again, if you're just joining us, YouTube kindly decided to change how they do their live streaming. And so we were not aware of that. And so about 10 minutes before we went live, I happened to get onto YouTube to get everything started and realized, oh, there's no way to do YouTube with Google Hangouts anymore. So we had to scramble around and figure this out on the fly. And then we didn't realize that for some reason when we went live, the live broadcast was set to private, so no one could see it. So anyway, here we are, and we are back with another Submissions for Smorgie Live. And as you can tell, it is completely and totally live. Luckily, we weren't saying any cuss words.
Right.
I was getting close. So, are we ready? Let's do this.
Yeah, we're ready now. Let's do it.
All right, so tonight we're going to have an open discussion. So whatever you guys have questions about, whatever you want to talk about, feel free to bring that up, ask your questions in the chat, and Jason will make sure we get those talked about. So tonight we're sponsored by 3 of our friends and some amazing people. Of course, ESGI is always one of our sponsors. They've literally sponsored every Submissions for Smorgie Live since the beginning. And so they're giving away 2 one-year licenses for ESGI. And those are of $200 value. The Teaching Texan, our friend Bryce from the Teaching Texan, is giving away $50 to his Teachers Pay Teachers store. And my TBFF, Jenny from Genhart Design, is giving away a $50 gift card to her TPT store, so you can load up on her amazing clip art. So, a huge thank you to the Teaching Texan, Genhart Design, and ESGI for sponsoring tonight's Submissions for Smorgie Live. To get entered for the prizes, you need to head over to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. Click on the very first post at the top. I think it'll probably say Submissions for Smorgie Live giveaway. You'll see the raffle copter right there. You just need to enter one time. You're going to enter your email address and then enter. That gets you entered for all of the prizes, the drawings tonight. So you only have to enter once. So the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. Click to get entered. We're going to give away one prize about halfway through, and we'll give away the rest of the prizes at the end. And you do have to be present to win. So make sure that you are here through the entire broadcast. You don't want to miss anything, because if you're not here when we draw your name, you don't win. So you have to be present to win. So head over to the blog, get entered for $50 from the Teaching Texan, $50 from Genhart Design, and 2 one-year licenses from ESGI. And Lord knows what's happening in YouTube Live, because who knows what this crazy software is doing.
Well, we know the raffle copter's working. That looks good.
Well, you can enter for prizes.
Entering their emails. That's good. Chat's working just fine. We've got 41 people watching, so everything looks like it's rolling. The only thing that's different this month from what it usually is it's really, really grainy. And it says Wirecast down in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be there, because we paid the $9.99 to get rid of that.
I guess we got to pay a lot more to get rid of that.
Apparently.
There was some sort of device you can buy that's made for streaming like this, so we're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, so we might
And
have.
we're gonna get that fixed for next month, so we don't have to this issue. But we have 2 questions that have come in so far, both from the same person, both from Lisa Dashel. So guys, to get those questions going, I'm going to start compiling those, and then I'll ask Greg those questions, and he will answer them live here on video. Also, be sure that you collaborate in the chat, because that's what we're here for. We want this to be a collaborative effort. So, first question. Like I said, this one's from Lisa. How do you continue to keep your kids engaged at this time of the year?
Oh gosh, y'all, let me just, you want transparency, and I hear a lot of this, oh, your classroom looks perfect, your kids are perfect. Y'all, this is day 7 of the struggle bus. The struggle bus has parked in my classroom, my kids have gotten on it, and I'm driving it, and we are headed down Struggle Street to Struggle Town on the struggle bus. It is a hot mess. They have spring fever with Easter, and then we're supposed to have a field trip coming up, and it got canceled, and end of the year, and they're just wild. Even Jason commented, he was in my class the other day, and he was like, that is not your class. He's like, I've never seen them like that. So it's a hard time of the year. The way to keep them engaged is you have to be engaged. You have to be pumped up and excited. Don't be posting 26 days left in the school year and counting down, because when they see that you're checked out, they check out. We have to stay on top of it. We have to keep the activities new and fresh. We have to keep the centers new and fresh. We have to bust out all the tricks. Give them more choices. Give them more brain breaks. Recess if you can. But really try to keep everything going. Keep your routines as normal as possible. That's one thing I see that happens a lot at this time of the year, especially when all the state testing is done in the next couple of weeks. Everybody just everything changes. I keep my kids in the same routine until the last day of school. Of course, within that routine, we're doing a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun activities. We've started our alphabet celebration countdown, so we're celebrating a letter a day from Z to A. So like today we did rainbow zebras, so that was big and new. So keep the same routines, bring your A game, keep yourself pumped up and excited about what's happening in your classroom. You got to sell it. It's like a commercial. You got to sell it. Try new centers, try new lessons, try new activities, read new books, but really just keep them in that routine, because we know how they are with that routine. Keep that structure, and keep your excitement high, because the higher your excitement is going to be, they're going to feed off of that.
Next question. This one's also from Lisa. Have you taught all of your 100 sight words, or are you still teaching them?
We actually have 4 left, and we'll do those next week, and then we'll be done. And I actually assessed our sight words today, and we're running at about 84% of mastery of all 100. So I'm very, very, very proud of my kids. If you want to know more about how we do sight words, check out Sight Word 60 on the blog, and you can get all the information about how we teach sight words with Sight Word 60.
And speaking of sight words and Sight Word 60, we just did an email series about that, and it was a big hit. We actually ended up doing it twice because it was such a big hit. And we just got a question from Denise, and she wants to know what we are planning as the subject of our next email series.
We've talked about morning meeting.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about classroom management. We're kind of planning a couple for over the summer, so we're thinking kind of back to school stuff. So morning meeting, classroom management will probably be the next 2 that we do, and they'll probably happen in June. Maybe
and
July.
Then we'll try to repeat the centers again over the summer, maybe toward the end of the summer.
Yeah.
So stay tuned as we roll those out. Next question is from Jean. Jean Hahn. What do you do for Mother's Day?
Hey, Jean. So I've done a couple of things for Mother's Day. One year we did a photo booth. We made a background and big letters that said, I love you because, and then the kids they told us why they love their mom, and we wrote it. We actually used the iPad, and it displayed on the iPad, and we took a picture and we had that framed. So we did that. And then last year we did tile. We bought the ceramic tile at Lowe's, I think, and then we did handprints. So the kids put their handprints on the tile, and we wrote their name and the year. And then We've also done the handprints on plates at Christmas,
Yep.
but you could also do that for Mother's Day. And then I saw something the other day that I thought would be adorable. It's a canvas, and you paint. The kids paint the sun, like half of the sun on the canvas, and then they put their hands around the sun to make the sun's rays. So that was really cute. So usually something with their hand print, because I think parents, especially moms, really like those things.
And we just did a gift for them. The T-shirts.
I wish I brought mine down.
Social media. The Classroom Faces T-shirts. The kids loved them. They thought it was so cool to see their drawings on a T-shirt.
Yes. And then, so they got their T-shirts yesterday, the Classroom Faces T-shirts that we did. So Jason came in and surprised the kids with those. So we all put them on and wore them yesterday. And then today, one of my little boys came in wearing it again. He was so proud of that shirt.
So if you want to check those T-shirts out, check them out at classroomfaces.com. Is that right? Yeah, classroomfaces.com. And you can see the pricing and see how that works. Basically, the kids just sit down, they draw their face, they write their name on a little piece of paper. You have all the kids in your class do it. The teacher does one. You mail all that in to A+ Images, and they put them all on the same T-shirt. And then you get a T-shirt for each kid in your class. I think they're $10 each, maybe $11 each. So be sure to check those out. They were super, super cute.
A+ Images shared a discount code on our Instagram.
That's right.
To get a free teacher T-shirt. So we'll find that code and we'll share that.
Yeah, I don't know it off the top of my
I don't either.
All right, next question. This one is from Aletta. What activities and books do you use during your guided reading time?
So for guided reading, I use Reading A to Z as my books. It's $100 a year. But with that $100, you get, oh my gosh, there are thousands of books on there. From pre-A to Z, for every book, there's a guided reading lesson plan and tons of resources and activities for each book. I just use the books. I don't use any of the other materials. So I print my books for the week, and then I do a warm-up with each group for about a minute. It can be anything from beginning sounds, letters, maybe identifying some quick CBC words, depending on the group. And then we read, of course, and that's mostly what we do in guided reading. Of course, as they're reading, I'm going around the table, listening to them read, taking my anecdotal notes, working with them on some strategies to help their reading, decoding strategies. And then we do some comprehension work. And I usually try to tie the comprehension into what we're doing in a whole group. And so, like this week, we've done some main idea and some problem solution. So I've been doing some of that in guided reading. And then we do some word work. My favorite word work thing that we're doing is the kids have a cookie sheet, and they have magnetic letters on the cookie sheet. And so I'll say, very quickly, I'll say, take off C-A-T-B-M-P. And then I'll say, okay, now build the word cat. So they build the word cat. We say the sounds, read the word. I'll say, now change cat to bat. So we do a lot of word work with the magnetic letters. And also I had a little boy who was struggling with CBC words and blending. So I made a set of blending cards for him with CBC words. And I've been using those a lot in guided reading with a couple of my groups. And the kids love them. And they've really had a big impact on the kids. And so those, you can check those out on my TPT store. But guided reading for me it's just reading and working on decoding strategies and comprehension with some word work in there.
Just a reminder, if you have not entered the giveaway yet, you only have 30 minutes left to do that. That giveaway, it will go away at 7:45, so in 30 minutes. So if you've not done that, you need to go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, click on the very first blog post, and follow the directions there. It's super simple. There's just a link you click on, enter your email address, and you're entered for all four of tonight's prizes. So you need to go and do that now if you have not done so. Next question is from Heather. Are your sensory bins a tub choice during centers?
I get this question a lot. And it actually has changed. And so again, you want to know, that my classroom is real and it's far from perfect. So you you've seen my center wheel and you've heard me talk about it a lot. And so up until about 3 months ago, the sensory bin was a tub choice. So if you went to your tubs, you could also do the sensory bin or the light box. And then what was happening is we ended up with 3 groups doing Right the Room as a choice. So we'd have several kids doing Right the Room, and so it basically turned into a Melee the Room instead of Right the Room. And so I had to revamp the wheel. So I took out one of the Right the Room choices, and now the sensory bin and the light box and my little Heidi swap light box are a choice on the wheel. So they're now their own separate choice. So we eliminated the Right the Room issue, so now we only have 1 or 2 groups doing Right the Room, so it's less of a melee, it's a little more controlled, and now the light boxes and the sensory bin are getting used constantly because it's now a choice on the wheel. So again, it's just another example of that. Even, 3 or 4 months before the end of the school year, I had to revamp something to address an issue in the classroom. So the sensory bins are now a choice on the wheel, separate from the tubs.
This question is from Lisa. Do you math workshop model, or how do you teach math?
We do balanced math. So very similar to balanced literacy. We start with calendar, do about a 10-minute calendar routine. Then we do mental math and math review. So like mental math would be like subitizing, or like right now we're adding to 5. Then math review, so we're going to review something we've learned previously, numbers, shapes, those kinds of things. Then we do our mini lesson, about 10 to 15 minutes, whole group. Don't always do a whole group lesson. We didn't do one today because we've been working on place value, and I wanted to work with the kids in small groups, so I didn't do a whole group lesson. So either a whole group mini lesson, or we're doing small groups and the kids are working in centers. And then there's technically supposed to be a closing activity, but I never do it because we always get so engaged in what we're doing, I run out of time.
How long do you have for centers?
For math?
I guess both.
Okay, so for literacy centers, we usually have about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes for literacy centers. And then math, it usually runs about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on the day of the week and if we've done a whole group lesson or not a whole group lesson.
This next question is from Miranda. She wants
Hey,
to know
Miranda.
where you got your shirt that you're wearing.
Ooh. So totally different. Like, normally you can see like my whole shirt on the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
And the computer, I wish y'all could see it now. The computer's all up in my business. Because all this new technology we had to figure out on the fly. So you can't even see my shirt. So I'm going to raise up a little bit. So we have these shirts available. They're $20. That includes shipping. And so you can email us at kindersmorgie@gmail.com and you can order a shirt. So these are the #HappyClassroom shirt. So I think everybody needs one because we need to do everything we can, especially at this time of the year, to keep the positivity going and to drown out the negativity and the countdown to summer and all that stuff on social media. This is something I'm very passionate about. Something Jason has become very passionate about is spreading the message of Happy Classrooms. And so we'll talk about the Happy Classrooms message at the end of the broadcast. But we do have the shirts available, so if you want one, $20, which includes your shipping, and you can email us at kindersmorgie@gmail.com and get yours.
And we have size from small to XX. I think I might have a few XXX, but not many. So we have pretty much any size available that you want. And if you email kindersmorgie@gmail.com, you're emailing me, and I'll communicate with you on how to purchase it. You can pay by credit card or PayPal, and it's super simple. I mail it out to you right here from the house. So we've got a huge stack of them.
Yep.
Miranda also wants to know if you use the centers year after year, or do you switch it up by making new centers every so often?
Both. So I try to reuse them. Of course, every year at the end of the year or over the summer, I go in and kind of go through my centers and throw out old ones that need to be replaced. But of course, again, it goes back to that question we started with about keeping your kids engaged. So there's always going to be new stuff too. So it's always a balance of old stuff that we've used in the past and new stuff. So like right now we've got some of our zoo animal and ocean animal centers out because that's what we're doing right now. We just made the Flippin' Burgers centers, which the kids are loving. So those are new. But again, it follows that same consistency. And like we just uploaded our newest boot camp curriculum for Addition. So adding to 10, Addition Boot Camp is now available. So we'll pull some of those centers out. We'll get those prepped and printed and in the classroom too. So it's really a balance of old ones and new ones. So check out Addition Boot Camp. It's now posted on TPT, and we've marked it 25% off for the next 24 hours or so. So you can add the newest addition to your boot camp curriculum.
So for those that just joined us, we've got several who just joined recently. We're up to 72 viewers now. The issue that you're seeing is the graininess that you're seeing. That's not issues on your end. That is because we had to go around the globe tonight to get on live to be able to stream. We used to use Google Hangouts, and YouTube did away with Google Hangouts. So we had to really quickly, 6 minutes.
Literally within 6 minutes.
Before we were supposed to go live, we had to figure out what to do. Luckily, Greg is really good at acting on the fly. And,
hey, I'm a teacher. That's what we do all day.
He was able to figure it out, but we had to use a different technology, so it's not as good as you can tell. So our apologies for the graininess. We're going to do our best to have that fixed by next month. Trying to figure out what other software we need to use to stream. So that's what you're seeing. And if you had issues getting in, it's because at first the link wasn't working.
Because it was private.
All kinds of stuff. So anyway, we've got it fixed now, and thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Another quick reminder, you need to go and enter right now for tonight's giveaway. We're actually going to do one here in just a few minutes. We're going to do one a little early. So if you've not entered yet, you need to head over to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, click on the very first blog post, and follow the directions there. It's super simple. You're just going to click a link, enter your email address, and bam, you're entered for all of tonight's giveaways. You only have to enter once. So you need to go and do that right now so that you're eligible for the prize that we're going to give away here in just a couple of minutes. Again, if you're listening and you're not in the chat, you can't win. You've got to be in the chat to be eligible to win. So get logged into YouTube if you've not done that. All right, just a little bit of housekeeping I wanted to do there since our viewers increased. Next question is from Beth. She's from New York.
Hey, Beth.
How often do you do guided reading, and how long do you do it?
Guided reading is done every single day, and every group lasts from about 10 to 15 minutes. Depends on the group, depends on the day, depends on what they're doing that day, and every group is different, and every group is going to be different from day to day, depending on the book and what they're struggling with. But 10 to 15 minutes, and guided reading is done every single day. Now, if you come into my classroom and watch my guided reading on Thursday and Friday, it's going to look very different than it would Monday through Wednesday. Because Thursday and Friday, what I do is, instead of seeing my guided reading groups, I read with my kids one-on-one. And I start with the kids who need the most help that week and kind of work my way through the list that way. That just gives me some really intense one-on-one time with them, but it also gives us time to kind of chat and bond. It gives me just a much better idea of what they're doing, what I can help them with, and where they are with their reading. And the kids like it because they get some one-on-one attention.
Do you meet with every group every day?
No. And I try to read with every child every day, but I don't necessarily see the groups. So I have, for example, I have 2 kids this year right now who are reading at a level, probably an I by now. So I don't see them every day because I don't need to. But what I will do is I'll call them to the table one-on-one and have them read a page or 2 from their book, or have them read whatever library book they got. Just so I do get to read with them every day. May not be at my table, may not be in guided reading. It might even be during math centers. But I try to read with every child every day, even if I don't see the groups every day.
This question is from Kara. Do you do PBL?
I don't do PBL as we were trained on it. I don't do PBL like PBL is supposed to be done. We do research projects in our class, and so we do the research and the writing, but we do it within those research projects. So right now we're doing our zoo animal research project. So we learn about an animal a day, we're writing about the animal, and then we're doing something art related with each animal. And so that's kind of how we do the project-based learning. And so we're trying to incorporate the research and the writing in a little bit more of a simplified way. So that's how we do it. And speaking of the research project, so we started the zoo animal one this week, and the kids got to talking about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember when we did the school supplies at the beginning of the year," and I was like, "Yeah, that was our very first research project." And then they're like, "Oh, we did pumpkins," and then they talk, "Oh, we did the bats," and one guy said Thanksgiving, and then they were like, "Yeah, then we got to travel all over the world," and so they rattled off every research project that we had done this year, and so that made me feel very good to know that not only are they learning, but they're very much engaged and they're loving the research projects, and again, having that consistent structure throughout the year has really paid off.
When do you begin your guided reading groups?
So I start pulling groups. They're not going to be guided. They're guided reading groups, but they're not necessarily leveled groups. About 3 or 4 weeks into the school year. So we start centers the second week of the school year, and then usually a week or two after that, I'll start pulling groups of kids to my table and getting them used to that, coming to my table, leaving their centers. Now it's going to go way up.
Your hacker head was cut off.
And, see? Sorry, guys. So then I start pulling them about 2 to 3 weeks after we start school. And then what we're doing in those times is letters, sounds, name writing, those kind of things. And I always start with books, picture books with no words. And then we start to add in some one-word emergent readers. And of course, the kids who are kind of standing out that they might already be reading, we'll start with some simple pre-A books.
This question is from Kim. Do you teach summer school? If so, did you introduce ABC and number boot camps?
I do not do summer school. We actually don't have summer school in our district for elementary school, but like our school is offering a couple of different camps. A couple for our EL students, and then another camp for the other kids who want to sign up and come to the camp. So no summer school. We do have the camps, but I think ABC boot camp and number boot camp would be fantastic in summer school, especially for kids who maybe are taking the summer school to kind of strengthen themselves to get ready for first grade. I think it would be fantastic. I think it's a great summer school resource.
A bunch of questions here. This question is from Elizabeth. Any great ideas about team numbers? I have one little boy who just cannot get them down.
So
someone suggested Harry Kindergarten.
Yes, Harry Kindergarten. Numbers in the teens is a great one. Also have, and I don't think I've ever. Yes, I've done a blog post on this. We call it the number recognition race. It's very, very simple. Construction paper, the big piece, divided into 10 sections. Label each section with the teen numbers. So I would do probably a 12 to 20 or 11 to 20, maybe 10 if he needs to work on 10. And then you make some flashcards, index cards. You write the numbers on the index cards, turn them face down, flip the card over, say the number, and match it to the number on the construction paper. We played 3 times. It's one-on-one. We played 3 times. First time is practice. Second time, we time ourselves to see how fast we are. The third time, we time ourselves to see if we can beat our original time. So there's a little bit of a competition in there. They get excited, want to beat their time. I've done this for years, and I have found it to be one of the most effective strategies to get kids to recognize their numbers from 0 to 10 or those teen numbers. There's a blog post and a video about it on the blog, and I think if you just type in number recognition race, you'll find the blog post. Very, very simple, super effective.
So I've got a question. This one's from Jesse, and then Angelica actually touched on it as well about ELL. What activities or strategies do you use for your ELL students? Jessie said that she was observing a second grade class and did not see very many strategies for those students.
So I think one thing that I always say is I think kindergarten is very EL friendly because we spend so much time on the basics and teaching vocabulary and and teaching our kids a language, because so many of our kids come in without language, whether they're EL or not. So a couple things that I do. Of course, repetition is huge. We do a lot of shared and interactive reading with a big focus on vocabulary. And so with the vocabulary, we try to talk about what the word means. We draw a picture of what the word looks like, and then we act it out. And that total physical response is huge for ELs. And so you got to get their whole body into it, get them to act it out, to do some mime work. That's big. And vocabulary is the biggest area that our EL kids need help with. And so we do a big focus on the vocabulary. Lots of repetition, again. And then one thing that I do that's not necessarily an ELL strategy, but it's had a huge impact on my EL students, is our shared and interactive reading with our emergent reader and our poem every day. It gives them that repetition. It gives them the scaffolding to be successful. We're learning to be fluent readers, and we're learning vocabulary. And so that's been a very effective one.
This question is from Lisa, and then we're going to do our giveaway.
Woo woo!
Lisa asks if you plan with other kindergarten teachers, and if so, do you guys do the same thing in every classroom, or do you do your own thing?
I get this question a lot. So there are 8 of us on our kindergarten team. So we meet every Wednesday as a team and plan for the next week. So with that said, we have our whole year mapped out. And that big picture is available on, is it on Facebook?
The big picture?
Yeah.
It's on the blog.
It's on the blog.
Resource Center.
Okay, it's in the Resource Center.
Yeah.
I think we also put it on Facebook as our freebie.
Maybe.
Anyway, so you can look at that. So we have our whole year mapped out. So we already know every 2 weeks what our theme is, what our ELA skills are, what our math skills are, what we're doing with writing and science and social studies, and what we're going to do for cooking and snack. So we already go into our planning on Wednesday with an idea of what we're doing, and then at our team planning on Wednesday, we share out specific ideas, strategies, books, resources, activities to use to teach all of those skills and themes that we're doing that next week. And then we all kind of do our thing. So we all share and collaborate, and then we take all of that information into our classroom, and we teach how we want. So we're all teaching the same skills and standards and themes, but how we teach it is up to us.
And yes, it is on Facebook.
Aha.
So if you just click on freebies on Facebook, you'll see the year-long unit plan.
Which will be getting updated soon.
All right, so let's do the giveaway.
Well, okay. Let's give away 1 year of ESGI, which is a $200 value. If you're not familiar with ESGI, it's a one-on-one online assessment tool that will save you about 400 hours a year. I said earlier I assessed sight words today. It took me about 10 minutes. Assessed all of my kids on all 100 sight words. About 10 minutes done. Got some great data. I've already planned an activity for tomorrow based on that data. With ESGI, you sit down with your kids either at your computer or with an iPad. It's one-on-one, and it's a yes-no system. So if they get the question right, yes. If they get it wrong, no. When you're done, it generates immediate data so you can see where they are, how they're doing. It allows you to really adjust your instruction on the fly. You get a personalized parent letter to go home. You get personalized flashcards. It's a fantastic resource that every classroom should have. It's $200 a year, and it's worth every single penny. You can use the code SMORGIE, SMORGIE, to get your 60-day free trial, and that will also save you $40 off of the subscription price. So you can check it out. It's esgisoftware.com, and it's one thing that I swear by that should be in every single classroom. So we're going to give away a 1-year license.
And tonight's winner is Nona Hove. H-O-V-E. Nona, N-O-N-A, Hove, H-O-V-E.
So Nona, if you are here in the chat, you need to say something to Jason quickly, and we know there's a delay, so we'll give you some time. So Nona, if you're in the chat, let Jason know. Congratulations, you've won 1-year license to ESGI.
And so while we're waiting on Nona to answer, tell everyone about our conferences this summer real quick.
So first of all, if you're familiar with our Elevate conferences, you probably have noticed that we have a new logo. So we're very excited about our new logo. Really kind of matches what Elevate is all about. So this summer, we're taking our Elevate conferences on the road to Chattanooga and Philadelphia. So Chattanooga is going to be Saturday, June 10th. And we have an amazing guest coming to Chattanooga. I'm so excited about this. I can't wait. In Chattanooga, award-winning, world-renowned children's book author Todd Parr will be joining us to give the opening keynote about being yourself and being who you are. He has a new book coming out called Be Who You Are.
Yes.
So he's going to be there giving the opening keynote. So I'm beyond thrilled. I've used Todd's books. I've always looked up to him. So I'm super excited that Todd's coming to Elevate Chattanooga. And then I'm going to be doing 3 sessions. And then there's going to be a make and take. And your registration includes your breakfast, your lunch, your snack, swag bag full of goodies, and your make and take materials. And you get 7 contact hours of professional development. And you get to hang out with us and a whole bunch of teachers. So it's going to be an awesome day. Todd Parr is going to hang out for the day, which is no big deal to me because, I'm just going to have to get up and present in front of Todd Parr. So I'm a little bit nervous. So that's Elevate Chattanooga, Saturday, June 10th. And then we are also hitting the road to Philadelphia in July. And so July 21st in Philadelphia for Elevate Philadelphia. Again, registration includes breakfast, lunch, snack, swag bag, make and take, 7 contact hours. So that's going to be an awesome day in Philadelphia as well. We're very excited to be hitting the road. So if you haven't registered for the Elevate conferences, you need to get registered. There are tickets available, but both of the conferences are filling up very fast, and so they will sell out. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, go ahead, get registered, get your ticket, so you can join us for Elevate Chattanooga on June 10th and Elevate Philadelphia on July 21st.
Nona has not answered, so we need to make another drawing.
All right, so somebody's going to win ESGI. Is ESGI here tonight?
No, I've not seen them.
Okay. Well, they probably can't figure out the new technology either.
So Elizabeth Augustus, if you are here, you have won 1 free year of ESGI. Elizabeth Augustus, if you are here, please say something in the chat so that I know that you're here and we can get you your prize. I need you to say something really quick or we're going to go on and draw again. We got to keep moving here.
Elizabeth Augustus.
Nona, unfortunately, we've already drawn again. I'm so very sorry. We waited a long time. So, Elizabeth, you have won. Congratulations, Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is here.
Yay, congratulations, Elizabeth.
So Elizabeth will get you in contact with ESGI, or actually they'll be in contact with you on how to claim your prize. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Nona, I will put your name back in the drawing so that you have a chance here in a few minutes.
Yep.
So we're going to draw for another one. So Nona, you still have a chance to win. I will add you back to the pot. All right. Anything else we need to cover right now?
Real quick, while we're talking about stuff, I want to mention the Health Nut Challenge from Eric Litwin, who is the original author of the first 4 Pete the Cat books. His new book just came out. It's called The Nuts Keep Rolling. So I got to talk to Eric on the phone a couple weeks ago. So they have a fun little challenge going for your classroom. And again, this goes back to that engagement piece that we talked about earlier. It's called the Health Nut Challenge. So the way it works, and all the details and the links are on our blog, so you can check it out. The way it works is you're going to create a nut tree in your classroom, and the templates are on Eric's website. And they have a song and a video called Keep Rolling, which we actually learned live on Facebook last week, I think. So you should scroll through Facebook sometime and find that video because it's hilarious. So you basically you set a goal for your kids. So let's say you exercise 10 times and then you're going to earn a certificate. So every time you do the Keep Rolling dance, they earn a little leaf or a nut for their tree. And once they reach whatever goal you set, they all get a certificate of achieved nut. So it's a fun way to incorporate music and dancing and exercise end of the day. It's like, a minute and a half song.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very short. Makes a great brain break. Very easy to learn. The kids will love it. And now you can read the book, Eric Litwin's new book, The Nuts Keep Rolling. So check out the Health Nut Challenge. It's on our website. You can get all the details and all the links to get the templates and the certificates for your class. Super fun song, super fun dance.
Be great for brain breaks.
Great for brain breaks, yep.
All right, ready to go back to some questions?
Let's do it.
All right, so our first question for the second half of tonight is from Katie Bug.
Hi, Katie.
Katie Bug says that last week she accepted a kinder position in her hometown and her dream district.
Awesome. Congratulations.
What advice do you have for moving schools or districts?
We get this question a lot. So, I've done this 3 times. No, 2 times.
Twice since I've known you.
3 times. So my biggest piece of advice is to be as organized as possible, which I am not. So, pack up your room and box things up just like you would put them away in your new classroom. So when you box up, let's say, for example, in the back of my room, I've got some cabinets with all of our art supplies. So I would box all of that stuff up, label the boxes, art supplies, and then maybe even art supply cabinet. So when I move into my new classroom, I can look at every box and know exactly what's in there and know where I want it to go. So it's kind of like you're going to box up your classroom in zones, and then when you get to your new classroom, you can unpack in zones as well. That's really my biggest piece of advice. And purge. Get rid of stuff. Leave stuff behind. If it's broken, throw it away. But try to get rid of stuff. The mister's making a face because he knows I don't like to get rid of stuff.
There's out making a face. It's true.
So that's really the big thing is just kind of pack up everything the way you'd want to put it away in your new room. So you don't have just random stuff in a bunch of random boxes scattered everywhere.
Next question is from Megan. It's a fun question. Have you ever hatched chickens?
No!
This will be my first year hatching, so I'm a little nervous. We just started our ABC countdown. What a fantastic idea to keep things exciting. Thank you.
Well, thank you. No, and I actually was going to do chickens this year, and I could not find an incubator. Because I looked on Amazon, and they're like $200 to $300. But next year, I am hatching chickens.
No, we're not. What are you going to do with them?
You get the eggs from a farm, and then you take the chickens back to the farm. Is the way it works.
So, okay.
So you don't have to worry. You don't keep the chickens.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
You can do it. I was going to be like, no, you're not doing that.
Y'all should have seen his eyes. His eyes were huge. Like, oh my God, he's gonna hatch chickens and bring home a bunch of chickens.
Freaking me out. You have brought over guinea pigs, so you never.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, so I've always wanted to do it, but I kind of waited too long this year. But next year we are hatching chickens.
That's cool.
And I'm bringing them all home, and they'll lay some eggs for us.
Next question is from Jennifer. Do you use the responsive classroom program in your classroom?
Yes. So if you've seen our morning meetings, it's very much responsive classroom. I was trained. My kindergarten team at my former school was 2 former schools ago. We were the pilot for our entire district that year. So we got trained by responsive classroom, and then we were the pilot and the model school. So I used the morning meeting. We use the take a break, and we use. I also try to use some of the teacher language that responsive classroom teaches. So kind of that the very short, very specific directions. Like instead of saying, "I need you to sit down," I like to say, "Sit down." So it's kind of more of a this is what do it. So I do use responsive classroom. Don't agree with it completely. But I think we find that with everything that we do in our classrooms. We pick and choose the parts that work for us and the parts that we like and that fit what we're doing.
Kelly wants to know when you knew you wanted to be a teacher.
I always knew. I had never really wanted to be anything else. So it's something I've always wanted to do. It's always what I saw myself doing. I used to play school at home. I would bring stuff home from school and teach the stuffed animals, and even had a little bulletin board in my bedroom that I decorated. And I had a 3rd grade teacher who was just amazing. She made everything fun. She was just so loving and kind, and made school a happy place. And I just look back on that year, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to create that same experience for kids. And so I've always known that this is what I would do.
Next question. This one's from Lisa. She had to leave, but I think it's a good question. How do you challenge your high flyers, making sure they're still growing at that high level?
That's a hard thing to do, and we just talked about this today in our team meeting. And it's an area I think that's a weakness in education as a whole. I think those are the kids that fall through the cracks a lot. So what I like to do with my high flyers is do a little bit more of the project-based learning stuff with them, if they're able to do it a little more independently. And then I like to take the skills that we're working on and make them a little bit more abstract and challenging. So like right now we're really focused on addition. So for my high flyers, they're doing a lot of missing add-in type stuff. I have a center that's called Call Me Maybe, and it actually has a little bit of 3-digit addition for them. But the part that we use the most is, instead of equations with the numbers, they're using little cell phones, and the equations are letters. So they have to figure out what number on the cell phone corresponds to the letter to write the equations. So focusing on the same skills, but adding in a level of challenge to it to keep them challenged and to keep them growing at the same time. And so it's really all about kind of finding ways to raise the bar a little bit for them and making it a little bit more abstract. I had a guy a couple years ago, and we did, he was all into dinosaurs, and so he was reading at like an M or an N, ended up at like a W by the end of the year. So we did a dinosaur book, and so he would research a dinosaur for every letter. And then he made a little ABC dinosaur book, and so he wrote the dinosaur's name, wrote about it, and drew a picture of the dinosaur. So things like that are a good way to challenge your high flyers. Can be done, kind of in a small group, or literature circle, or even one-on-one if you want to do one-on-one stuff with them.
Next question is from Angelica. She says, "I love everything you do. My question for you is, how long do you do whole group instruction during reading?"
About 30 to 40 minutes, and that includes everything. So that includes letter sound chart or blends chart, poem, emergent reader, sight words, phonics, phonemic awareness, and our read aloud. And that's it. So 30 to 40 minutes for whole group, and the rest of that hour and a half that's left is guided reading, one-on-one instruction, and centers.
Yes, I just got here. Rochelle is here.
Hi, Rochelle.
She said she's sorry she's late.
Well, Rochelle, you missed the fun.
Yes.
It's been a hot mess over here again.
That's good. All right, next question is from Mel Joe. Do you offer extended packages for the students to study over the summer with your materials?
I don't. And I don't send home summer packets and summer work. I think it's summer. I think they should have some time off to be kids. If the one thing I do encourage them and the parents is to read. And that's really all. Summer packets, I don't know. I kind of feel like they get lost, maybe probably thrown away, maybe done the first couple of days and then they're done. So I don't send home summer work and summer packets, because I think they need the summer to kind of relax and be kids and enjoy some downtime. As long as they're reading books, I'm happy.
This is from Veronica. What's your best strategy for teaching high frequency words?
Haha! Sight word 60. And so I'll kind of give you a brief rundown of it, but then you can go to the blog and get all of the details and see videos about how it works. But Sight Word 60 gives the kids 60 plus exposures to the sight words over the course of the week. Brain research says we need about 21 exposures, and so Sight Word 60 triples that. So Monday we're going to introduce the words, read the words, spell the words, use the words in a sentence. Tuesday and Wednesday, review the words. The kids use the words in a sentence. Thursday we're going to do the Sight Word Grid, which is done in small groups, and it's where we're reading and spelling the words and coloring the words. And then Friday is going to be a game or an activity. And so that's how we do sight words. So effective. Last year we got to 95% of the kids mastered all 100 words. Right now we're sitting at about 80 to 85% mastery, with about 6 weeks to go, 4 weeks, 5 weeks to go. So check out Sight Word 60. You can go to the blog and just type in Sight Word 60, and you'll see a post for each day of the week, so you can kind of see how it works and see how we do it. And again, it takes about 3 to 4 minutes. It's super quick, it's super easy, but super effective.
This question is from Felicity. What are your flexible seating options? I know you use bath mats, but what else?
All right, so my flexible seating options are the floor, because we have no tables and no desks, and so everything we do is on the floor. We do have a plastic swimming pool full of pillows that the kids can lay in. We have a big comfy chair the kids can sit in. We have our stage that they can work on, and we do have one table that they can work on. So those are really the options that we have, but 95% of what happens in our classroom is done on the floor with carpets and clipboards, because we don't have tables and desks. Now, since somebody brought up flexible seating, I want to get on my soapbox for a minute. Remember that flexible seating isn't about getting rid of your tables and desks. It's not about going out and buying a whole bunch of stuff and spending a bunch of money. It's about giving the kids choice. And that can be done at zero cost. You can simply walk into your classroom tomorrow and tell the kids you can sit at your desk or your table and work, or you can sit on the floor and work. And that's flexible seating. Get rid of your assigned seating. Flexible seating isn't about the stuff. It's about the mind shift, shifting that power from us to the kids and giving them choice and control over where they do their work. So, and I talked to a teacher the other day who was having some issues because she said the kids were fighting over all of the choices. And I said, so take away some of those choices, because it's not about the stuff. It's not about the balls and the bean bags and the scoop chairs and the, all of that stuff, which can cause some fighting and some issues because everybody wants to sit on the ball. Flexible seating is about the choice, and it's about giving kids control of their workspace. So you don't have to have a lot of options. You already have a lot of options because you have desks and tables and a floor. So they can sit at their desk. They can sit at somebody else's table. They can sit on the floor. They can stand up. They can lay on the floor. So really, it's about giving them choice and giving up that control.
So Josh said that he was, as you were talking, that he was thinking about going to no tables or chairs in his classroom next year. Convince me I'm not crazy. I think you just did, and people are saying you're not crazy.
You are not.
Stacy is actually here from Simpson Superstars.
Hi, Stacy.
And she said she just changed her room around for zero money. So
exactly, yeah.
It's just about being creative, right?
It's about being creative, and this is what happened. So flexible seating got to be very popular because it's the right thing to do for kids. And then what happened was it became this thing where you have to go buy all of this stuff, which having stuff is fine, and getting the stuff is fine and great, but don't feel that pressure that like you can't do flexible seating if you don't have stuff.
You bought bath mats, and that's all.
That's it.
And that was like, what, 3 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, we bought them at Target and Walmart. We kind of combined them. We bought them that kind of looked the same. We've washed them multiple times. They're still just fine. We keep washing them so they're not dirty. Yep. They don't have germs. They don't, you don't have to worry about any of that. Super cheap. So if you feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff, your mind, in my opinion anyway, your mind's in the wrong spot.
Right.
Because you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I've seen this picture on Instagram, and this teacher's classroom looked amazing and wonderful, and I want my classroom to look like that. That's not what your classroom's about. Your classroom's not about looking amazing and wonderful. Your classroom's about educating the children.
Right, and what's best for them.
And what's best for them, absolutely. And having it look perfect with all these awesome things. If you have the money for it, by all means, go for it.
Right,
but don't get pressured to do so, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the way we approach things. When Greg says he wants to do something for the classroom, I'm like, if it makes sense and you've got the money to do it, then do it.
Right.
If it doesn't make sense and you don't have the money, then find another way.
Right.
And don't feel bad that you weren't able to do it the way this particular person did or this particular picture looked.
Right.
So that's my little soapbox for you.
Yeah, and that's exactly. That's the thing about flexible seating, is that it's not about the stuff. The stuff is fine if you've got it, if you can get it, great. It's about giving the kids choice and freedom and control. And like I said, you could walk into your classroom tomorrow and you could start flexible seating just by telling your kids You can sit at your desk or your table, or you can stand up, or you can sit or lay on the floor. Boom. Flexible seating. That's what it's all about.
Question. This is from...
So yes, Josh, get rid of your tables and desks.
The reason why I paused because I don't know how to say the name. Envious Beauty, I guess. Envious Beauty, yes. With flexible seating, what do you do when you have kids wanting to sit together and they play instead of work? Do you just tell them to move somewhere else?
Pretty much. So I try very hard not to take away their choices. So I handle it a couple of ways. If I see two kids who are sitting together who I know shouldn't be, I'll say, is this a good choice? And usually one of them will get up and move. And then sometimes I will say to them, now remember, you need to make a good, maybe even just to the whole class, make a good choice about who you're sitting by, and don't sit by somebody who's going to keep you from learning. That will help. And then if it's still an issue, I still don't take away their choice. I just limit their choices. And I'll say, okay, so-and-so, you can sit on this side of my table or on this side of my table. So they still have two choices, this side or this side, but I've eliminated the issue, and now I've moved them away. So I try not to take away their choices, but I can limit their choices and strongly encourage them not to be with somebody.
Another question about flexible seating. Has it ever been an issue with a sub?
Nope. Actually, I've had several subs who have left notes about how much they loved the fact that we didn't have tables and desks.
Laura says that she always says, choose a spot that will help you be the best learner you can be.
Absolutely. And what you start to find over time is the kids do it on their own. I can't tell you how many times, and it's usually the boys, because the boys get together and they want to play and wrestle. The girls get together and do girl things like, I don't know, they're talking about dresses and princesses, and now we're wearing makeup in my class. I don't know where that came from, so they're talking about their makeup. But like I'll see two of the boys, I'll see a boy working, and then another boy will come over and sit down, and the first boy will get up and move because he knows that that's not a good choice. So you start to see it happening naturally. You start to see them taking some control of that. And again, it's part of that training and setting those expectations.
Here's a question that I think maybe would go good in our conversation. What advice would you give a parent to motivate a child that has no interest in learning at school or home? It's not a disability, it's a stubborn refusal to apply themselves. They're smart, not bored.
Again, I think part of it goes back to us. And kids pick up on our vibe. And so I think part of it is we have to be excited about it. We have to be excited about school. And I know that's hard to do every day, all day. We have to be excited about what we're reading and about what we're learning. And as I'm not a parent, so I have no idea what it's like to be a parent. But I think as a parent, you have to be excited about your kids going to school and really talk school up and make it exciting. Again, I'm not a parent, so I don't know the best way to answer that. Maybe some of the parents in the chat can chime in on this one. But I think it goes back to that excitement and really selling it. And find out why. Ask the child, what do you not like about school? What is it that you don't want to do? And maybe those conversations will help give you some insight, and so you can talk to the teacher and maybe figure some stuff out. But that's hard because I'm not a parent.
What tips do you have in dealing with? So these two questions kind of go hand in hand. What do you do for behavior management? This is from Heidi. And then Lori says, what tips do you have in dealing with talkative students?
Well, welcome to my classroom. So behavior management is pretty simple in my classroom. I've always used the clip chart for the past 8-9 years. I think the clip chart is great, and I know people don't like it, and that's fine. We have to do what works in our classroom. I like the clip chart because it gives the kids a lot of ownership of their behavior. Now, this year I stopped using it with my class because I have, knock on wood, no behavior issues. And of course I made the dogs bark. Speaking of behavior issues. Clip chart has worked great for me, and I will start with the clip chart next year. But really with classroom management for me and behavior management, it's about expectations and routine and procedures. We have one rule in our classroom, and that's to be your very best every day. So it's really about training them and setting those expectations. The kids know how to do it, they know what I expect of them, and so they work hard to do that. So that's it. We use take a break, and so if they need to, they go to take a break for a couple of minutes to think about what they're doing. Then we have a little conversation about it. We have the trampoline, and so that's a behavior incentive. So when somebody's working hard or they make a good choice or give a good answer or do something kind, they get to jump on the trampoline. So that's a behavior incentive. For talkative kids, get a wireless doorbell. And so the way the wireless doorbell works is you plug it into an outlet in your classroom. Anytime the bell rings, the kids know they have to stop, get quiet, and look at the teacher. So try the wireless doorbell. Read the book Lacey Walker, Nonstop Talker. It's a great book for a talkative class, and you can have some great conversations about it. But don't, if they're talking, don't talk over them, and don't start talking until everybody's listening. And I think we fall into that trap sometimes where we try to talk over them and talk while they're talking, and that just kind of reinforces that idea that it's okay to keep talking. But try the wireless doorbell. I have a blog post about it, but you'll love the wireless doorbell.
Everybody loved it.
Everybody loves it.
Heidi says, now my dog is barking after hearing your dog barking.
See? Behavior issues.
So we're getting ready to do the giveaways. Just a reminder, if you're listening to us and you have entered your email address, you have to be in the chat. So if you're not in the chat, make sure you're in the chat now. Try to type something in there, make sure that it works. So make sure you're in the chat, because if we call your name, you have to respond quickly and let us know that you're here. Otherwise, we're going to go on and choose another name. We had that happen a little bit earlier today, and it gotten where it happens more frequently, and I think it's because we have more viewers now.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're very explicit about that, because there's nothing that I hate more than drawing someone's name and they don't hear it in time, or they're not able to respond in time, and then we draw somebody else's name, and then that person doesn't win. That makes me feel horrible.
Yeah.
So again, if you're not in the chat, get in the chat right now. If you're hearing my voice and you've entered your email address, make sure you can type in the chat. And then let's give it about 5 minutes. That way everyone kind of has a chance to make sure that you're in the chat and you're good to go. And then we're going to do the giveaways. So we're going to answer a few more questions. In 5 minutes, we're going to do the last 3 giveaways, which is a $50 credit to Jen Hart Designs Teachers Pay Teacher Store, a $50 credit to the Teaching Texans Teachers Pay Teacher Store, and another 1-year license to ESGI software in 5 minutes. So we're going to head back to some questions. We're going to go through these pretty quick, so we're going to try to knock them all out. This one's from Meljo. How can I support my ELL with extended activities at home? Any of your materials you can recommend along with Glenn's? My biggest thing for extending things to home is reading and getting the parents and the kids to read. So I have the emergent readers on my blog. You can send those home. The research projects, some of that can be stuff you can do at home. A lot of the stuff that we do in our classrooms, like with dice and those kind of things, you can extend those to home, because those are things parents can do at home. Sight words is a great way to extend learning to home. But really, my big thing that I always push on the parents is reading, and reading to the kids and listening to the kids read. Next question is from Leanne. How do you do your whole group reading lessons? Do you have a program or resource that you follow?
So we do, we have journeys, but I don't use it. And so all of my whole group lessons are kind of based on our themes, and a lot of them are done with our research projects. And so we'll do, right now we're doing zoo animals. So we'll do the read aloud. It's an animal book. We'll do the thinking map with a graphic organizer. Then the kids go and do some writing. So that's kind of how I structure my whole group lesson. And then if we're not doing the research projects, if we're doing fiction type stories, I pick books that go with our theme and that are good for whatever skill or strategy we're working on.
Next question is from Miss Blunt's classroom. How long do you teach each theme with your students? I'm trying to work on this for my class next year, and I don't know if I should change each week or every 2 weeks or what.
We do our themes for 2 weeks. We found that doing 1 week, we just couldn't get it all in, and it was so rushed, and it was kind of just skimming the surface. So now we do 2-week themes, and that's worked very, very well.
Next question is from Josh. Do the other teachers on your team use your materials, or do they do their own thing?
Both. So I share my materials with them, so they use those, and then of course we also do our own things.
This question is from Jennifer. What materials do you use for your animal research projects?
So, of course, I use the Animal Research Project creation from TPT, and then I use, for the animal books, I use mostly books from Pebble Plus. I get them on Amazon. They're very, very kid-friendly, very easy to read, very easy to understand. And then our animal centers, of course, come from the Zoo Animal Creation on TPT.
Karen has a really good idea. She says that she hopes that we do an email series on research projects.
We talked about that. Somebody else suggested that.
Very good.
Yeah, we had actually talked about that. And maybe it was Karen who suggested it. It was I think it was during the last Submissions Live that somebody mentioned it.
Just made a big note in red. Good idea, Karen. Next question is from Ms. Blunt's class again. Do you feel some students may benefit from retention in kindergarten? If so, which students would you have repeat?
Yes. Unfortunately, our district does not retain anyone, but I think kindergarten is the prime time. If someone's going to be retained, I think kindergarten is the time to do it, because they just handle it well. So I think every child is different, every classroom is different, so I can't really say, I can't, describe who's going to be retained. But yes, I think it's something that should be an option, and I think there are kids who would benefit from it every year.
This message is from Kendall. I'm doing your Sight Word 60 with my students. We've learned all the words required by my district. But what do you do for students who have not learned all their words after completing Sight Word 60?
So they get more practice in small groups, in one-on-one, and in centers. And again, going back to the ESGI and that data, I can look through that data and I can see the words that we're struggling with, the words that we've missed the most, and we go back and target those. So there's, even though we might be done with our sight words, I'm going to go back and do Sight Word 60 with the words that we're still missing on our assessments. So it'll be more of a targeted Sight Word 60. So you could do that. And of course, centers, sending flashcards home, sending sight word lists home is another way to add in another layer of practice.
Very good. The last question is from Laura. With summer on the horizon, what fun things will you be making for your classroom?
Oh gosh, I've got lots of ideas. Lots of ideas for solo cups and Legos and who knows. I want to add, so we have in our classroom, we have the 3-sided pocket chart stand. I'm going to add a 4th side to it. So instead of a triangle, we're going to make it a square. Because so many of the creations that we have, so many of our centers work well in pocket charts, and they're kind of designed for pocket charts. So I'll be adding another side to our pocket chart stand. I really want a loft. So I've talked to my dad about a loft, maybe. So that might be something we work on this summer. But who knows? We'll be living in a 700 square foot apartment, so that'll be lots of fun.
Yes, it will.
So, yeah.
All right, well, let's do our final giveaways.
All right, so a huge thank you to our sponsors. Bryce from the Teaching Texan for giving $50 gift card to his TPT store. My TBFF Jenny from Genhart Design. $50 gift card to her TPT store. And, of course, ESGI for giving 2 one-year licenses, which are valued at $200 each. So huge thank you to our sponsors. Make sure to stop by the Teaching Texan and Genhart Design on TPT. Check out Bryce's resources, and Jenny, of course, has amazing clip art. So check them out. And ESGIsoftware.com. Use the code SMORGIE to sign up for your 60-day free trial. That code will also save you $40 off the cost of your subscription. It'll make your assessments easy. I actually like assessing with ESGI. The kids love it. I love it. It's so fast. It's so easy. and so beneficial. So definitely check it out, esgisoftware.com. Use that code SMORGIE.
All right, here we go with the rest of tonight's giveaways. Let's do Jen Hart.
All right,
What do you
so
think? $50 to Jen Hart Designs Teachers Pay Teachers Store. Jen, if you're here, say something in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, they can ask you some questions about your store. But tonight's winner, and I didn't get my little...
Oh, you don't have your drum roll.
Yeah,
well, because,
I'm not going to make the crazy noise.
Sad day.
Tonight's winner, a $50 credit to Jen Hart Designs Teachers Pay Teachers Store is Jennifer Jimenez. Jennifer Jimenez. If you are here, please say so in the chat so that I know that you're here. You just won $50 to Jen Hart Designs Teachers Pay Teachers Store. She is actually here in the chat under Jenny Hartman.
Hi, Jenny.
But Jennifer Jimenez, I need you to just say hi and let me know that you're here in the chat.
So Jenny also does, in her TPT store, she has teacher emojis where she will draw your teacher emoji. Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up soon, so those would be very, very cute little gifts for your coworkers. So check out Jenny's teacher emojis in her TPT store. Jennifer Jimenez, are you here?
She's here.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
All right, so up next is $50 to the Teaching Texans TPT store. The Teaching Texan, that is Bryce. Bryce lives in Dallas, Texas, if I remember correctly. Bryce is an awesome kindergarten teacher, and it is kindergarten. Correct? Yes. Oh my gosh, is it first grade?
No, he's kindergarten.
In Dallas. Yeah. So be sure to check out his TPT store. And tonight's winner of $50 to the Teaching Texan TPT store. And Bryce, I don't know if you're here. I haven't heard you say anything, but if you are, say something in the chat. Tonight's winner is Tiffany. That's T-I-F-N-Y. Tiffany. If you are here, it's T-I space F-F-A-N-Y.
All right then.
Tiffany, if you are here, you have won $50 to the Teaching Texan TPT store. I need you to say something in the chat. I got you, Tiffany Fields.
Awesome. Congratulations, Tiffany.
So, Tiffany and Jennifer, I will get Bryce and Jenny in touch with both of you. I'll give them your email address, and they will email you and let you know what to do to claim your $50 credit to their stores.
So thank you, Bryce and Jenny, and make sure to stop by and check out their TPT stores. And Bryce also has a great blog, The Teaching Texan, so check out his blog as well.
And now our second ESGI winner for tonight. So earlier, Elizabeth Augustus won a 1-year subscription to ESGI. And now, Sarah Loudermilk. Sarah Loudermilk, you have won a free year of ESGI. Sarah, if you're here, please let us know in the chat. I need you to say that you are here in the chat so that we can get you your prize. Sarah Loudermilk.
Sarah, are you here? You won a 1-year subscription to ESGI.
Here.
Congratulations, Sarah.
Hey, congratulations. So again, Sarah, I will get your email address to ESGI, and they will be in touch with you. So all 4 of tonight's winners, just so you know, you don't have to do anything. All you've got to do is just hang tight and be on the lookout for the email from either Jenny, Bryce, or ESGI. And again, thank you to all 3 of our sponsors tonight for the giveaways. Yep. What else? Anything else? So you're going to be in Minnesota in 2 weeks.
Yep.
At the Minnesota Kindergarten Conference. So if any of you guys are in Minnesota, we're going to be at the Craigens Resort on May the 5th. Actually, we're going to be there the 4th and the 5th. You can register at mymka.org, or you can just go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. And then we've got Elevate Chattanooga in June, Elevate Philadelphia in July.
And those are filling up very quickly, so you need to go ahead and get your tickets before they sell out.
And here's the thing about conferences is everyone kind of waits till the last minute to register, which is completely fine. But I say that just so you know that we've only got about 100 tickets left for each. So if you have not, actually less than 100 for one of them. So if you've not signed up yet, those 100 tickets are going to go pretty quick because we're about 60 days out from Chattanooga and about 90 days out from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So those tickets are
They're going to sell out.
They're going to sell out. So if you're wanting a seat and you're watching tonight, now's the time to get your ticket. Don't wait, because we always end up having a waiting list, and you don't want to be on that waiting list.
Also, something we've talked about a little bit, and I want to throw this out there for the people in the chat. We're always looking for ideas and suggestions to keep submissions for Smorgie Live new and fresh. Apparently the doodles have an opinion. And so if you have ideas or suggestions or what you'd like to see on submissions for Smorgie Live each month, send Jason an email at kindersmorgie@gmail.com. Because we want this to be something that benefits everybody. So we love doing this. We have a blast on Wednesday nights, even when it's a hot mess. Because it's fun. It's live. You never know. But if you have ideas for submissions for Smorgie Live, let us know. We'd love to hear those.
And I think that's it. We do have a few questions we didn't get to answer. Do you want to do a quick lightning round?
Yeah, this is going to surprise the mister. So, I wish y'all could see his face. We need 2 cameras.
I do not like surprises.
So, normally, and he wasn't here tonight, so I'm kind of bummed. Normally, if you've been a part of submissions for Smorgie Live during the school year, normally one of my students, Xavier, is here, and I forgot to tell him today, which is probably why he's not here. He normally is participating in the chat. So, I spoke to his mom the other day, and we've kind of talked about this behind the scenes as well. But I think Xavier might join us for about 15 minutes next month for the May submissions for Smorgie Live. I talked to his mom, told her we'd like to have him come over and be here with me for next month to celebrate the end of the school year with him. So we'll probably plan on having Xavier as our special guest next month.
Very cool.
I thought that would be a great, because everybody's chatted with him all school year on submissions for Smorgie Live, and so I thought it would be fun to have him here live and let him answer some questions.
Yes, that's a very good idea.
So, yeah. Well, make sure to join us next month because Xavier will be with us.
All right, so if you want to see everywhere that Greg is going to be this summer, go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. Going to be in, I always want to say LA. It's Louisiana.
Am I still live?
I think so.
Okay, because my computer just minimized for some reason.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, you can see everywhere that he's going to be this summer on the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. We won't go through all of those, but you can see them there.
Yep.
So we hope to see you guys this summer.
Yeah. All right, questions, lightning round?
Want to do it?
And then I'll wrap up with happy classrooms.
Okay. Let's scroll up.
Also, don't forget, we just uploaded Addition Bootcamp, the newest bootcamp curriculum, and it's 25% off. So head over to TPT and check out Addition Bootcamp. Subtraction Bootcamp is coming soon. Oh, good.
Wait, let me scroll slow. I went really fast. When Mr. Greg picked up his cup to take a drink, I so thought he was drinking glitter. Do you send books home with the kids to encourage reading at home?
Yes. So we do the Emergent Reader every week as our shared reading. And then on Thursday, the kids take a copy of that home. And those are all available on the Resource Center and the freebies page on the blog.
How do you teach writing?
I use Writing Through the Year from Dee Wills and Deanna Jump.
What do you do to know the students are ready to move from one level to another in reading A to Z for guided reading?
We use Fountas and Pinnell as our running records or text level assessments. So I just do informal running records using the Reading A to Z informal running records.
Megan wanted to know if I'm your assistant. Do I do all of your web stuff, social media? He's pretty great. I already answered her in the chat and told her yes.
Yes, he does, and yes, he is fabulous. Couldn't do it without him. He's doing all the web stuff, the social media. He's making stuff for the classroom. He's in the classroom with the kids. The kids absolutely adore him. They were so quiet in the hallway today waiting for computers, and he walked in the building to bring me one of the new unicorn drinks from Starbucks, and the kids lost their minds. And the computer teacher, when I picked them up after computers, she was like, "Tell Jason thanks for that."
What were they so excited about? Did any of them ever say?
They were just so excited to see you, is what they said.
Well, they saw me standing in the office
Mm-hmm.
through the windows, and
Yep.
so they were all pointing and waving
Yep.
while I was standing in the office.
They love him. Yeah.
Kara wants to know, what was the name of where you get your books from?
Amazon, they're Pebble Plus books.
Pebble Plus.
Yeah.
Josh says the research projects have been great. They did Arctic animals and are working on ocean animals.
Awesome.
He has bound the journals to make them special, and the kids and parents love it. We're actually getting ready to start doing that.
Yes.
We saw someone earlier had posted that on the Facebook page.
And we're going to start that. That is a fantastic idea. Much more durable, and again, it makes it something really special. And again, there's that engagement piece. Just something so simple and small, but it makes such a huge impact on our kids.
What's Greg's degree in?
Elementary education. Have a bachelor's of, I don't know. I never remember if it's science or arts, but I have a bachelor's in elementary education.
Do you have...
And my ESL certification.
Do you have research books about bats? I'm doing a PBL on it.
Yes, I have a bats research project in the TPT store.
How much are you working in the summer?
Traveling a lot, doing a lot of conferences and workshops in PD. And then, of course, I'll be working on stuff for the classroom and blog post, and we'll probably be all over Facebook Live and social media. We're taking a vacation to Washington State for a week in July. So, living in a 700 square foot apartment for 6 months. We'll be by the pool a lot.
I work with preschoolers. What is the number one kindergarten skill you would love them to have when you get them?
Write their name.
Jesse asks, since you do a poem every week, would you use a poetry book? To send home for the parents to read the poems with the kids.
I've actually, I've started sending home a copy of the poem on Thursdays with the emergent reader. So, not necessarily a poetry book, but I have started sending the poems home with the kids. Because the kids started asking for it, so I started doing that.
That was the last question.
Awesome.
So people, you mentioned the 700 square foot. And about us moving. So people want to know.
Okay, so
How really
we,
is 700 square feet?
we are having a new house built, and so it won't be ready until October. And we live in a neighborhood in Nashville that is very popular right now, and so we know that as soon as we put our house on the market, it will sell. And in fact, it's not on the market, and we have somebody interested. So Jason kind of made the decision, and we talked about it with all the traveling all summer. We just wanted to go ahead and sell the house and get done, so we didn't have to try to sell the house and move into storage and apartments, and while we're doing all this stuff in the summer. So we've rented an apartment. And so we're going to sell our house in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to live in the apartment until the house is ready in October. So it's going to be an adventure. Us and 2 dogs and the kindergarten smorgasbord in a 700 square foot apartment.
You're going to get to see it because
we'll be live all the time. Yeah. So you'll get to be part of our apartment adventure. But we're excited. We're very excited about our house. So we'll have a lot of fun in our apartment. Yeah, and we have a really nice pool and a hot tub, so we'll get to enjoy all of that. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Kind of be like the newlywed experience all over again.
Yes. The newlywed experience. Only one bathroom. That bothers me. But so that's why we keep mentioning the 700 square feet.
Denise says that she shrinks your poems down a bit, and we glue them into a marble notebook.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Kids circle their snap words in yellow crayon and keep it in their book box to read.
That's a really good idea. So like having a poetry journal or a poetry notebook. I like that.
So Megan said that what would sell me on ESGI is some demos. So you can actually see some demos right here on YouTube.
Yep.
There is a video that Greg made demonstrating how he uses ESGI. So if you just go, you're actually on the channel now, so if you go to the search, just type ESGI in there, and you'll see the video. It'll pop up, and then he walks through how he uses ESGI in the classroom.
And that's something we've talked about too, is doing some more videos with ESGI and showing how I use it, how it works.
Yep.
So we'll work on that.
All right, well, that's it.
All right, I'll wrap up, as always, with hashtag Happy Classrooms. It's on my shirt. If you're interested in the shirt, send an email to kindersmorgie@gmail.com. But the purpose of Happy Classrooms and the mission of hashtag Happy Classrooms is to drown out the negativity. And we know that social media and the news itself is full of negativity about schools and teachers and how we're failing our kids and our schools are failing. And we know that that is absolutely not true. Teachers are not failing our kids. Schools are not failing our kids. Politicians are failing our kids. Our kids and our schools and our teachers are doing incredible, amazing things every single day. The problem is that nobody sees that because we're not telling our story. And we're not using our voice to advocate for our kids and our schools and our profession. And so Kayla Delzer from Top Dog Teaching and myself came up with the idea of hashtag Happy Classrooms, where we can use our voice to tell the story of all of the incredible things that are happening in our classrooms and our schools. So what we encourage everyone to do is to post on social media every single day one happy thing or one positive thing from your school or your classroom and use the hashtag Happy Classrooms. Then that allows us to use our voice and to be the marketing department and to be the PR department for our school and our classroom and our profession. We get to control the conversation, and we get to tell our communities what truly is happening in our classrooms. And we get to share the amazing things going on with our kids. So post every day on social media, use the hashtag Happy Classrooms, let's drown out the negativity, and let's let the world know that teachers are amazing, our kids are amazing, our schools are fantastic, and we're doing incredible, amazing things in our classrooms every single day. I know a lot of us are wrapping up the school year, so enjoy those last few weeks with your kids. Make the most of every minute. Make those memories, and celebrate an amazing year of learning and growth. And post on social media. Use the hashtag Happy Classrooms. And as always, if you need us, we're here. Message us, email us. We're happy to help. We'll be back next month on the third Wednesday in May. I'm not sure what the date is. But we'll be... Oh, he's looking. So we'll be back. It's always the third Wednesday of the month. And same time, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And next month, Xavier from my classroom will be joining us.
We will not be the third Wednesday of next month. Do you want to know why? Because we're going to be seeing New Kids on the Block and Paula Abdul. And Boys to Men. They're going to be there.
New Kids on the Block and Paula Abdul.
Yep. So that's not this. So we will do the... Hold on. Centerstone Nashville. We will do the 18th.
So May 18th.
Thursday, May 18th.
Thursday, May 18th, we'll be back with submissions for Smorgie Live. So mark your calendar, May 18th. All right. Now, if you're on our Facebook page, we normally do an after show live on Facebook. So you might want to head over to Facebook and join us for the after show. All right. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us again and sticking with us through the technical issues at the beginning of tonight's show. So have a great night, and we'll see you all next month for submissions for Smorgie Live. Bye, everybody.